Hey guys, Pete with Crunchtime Coaching, and today we're going to get into 7 key differences between your one-hand topspin backhand and your slice backhand. So if you've ever struggled on how to differentiate if you're trying to hit slice or topspin, this is the video for you. Let's get right into today's lesson. So the biggest key difference that we really need to start paying attention to is your grip. The topspin backhand and the slice backhand have very, very different grips, especially the more you want to hit topspin on your ball, you definitely need to move your way up the bevel, and I'll show you what that means here in a second. So first of all, just the look of it, if I'm going to hit slice, I'm going to look something like this. If I'm going to hit topspin, I'm going to look something like this. So you see that difference right there, and your grip really makes a big difference. Now, I actually have here what are called grip doctors, which you can get on a cool website called oncourtoffcourt.com, and I like to use this with my students who are really struggling to find a grip and lock into a grip, because I find that even when you put them into a grip, they tend to move around without even realizing that they're doing it. So right here, this one that's more on top of the bevel, more on top of the racket, kind of like if you were holding a motorcycle, what you do is you take your index finger and you put it there and you spread it out, and now you're holding the racket more like this. This is going to allow you to come up and hit topspin on the ball. So you see my knuckles are basically facing towards you guys. You want to have nice separation in the fingers, especially your index finger there, although you don't want it too far out. So you grab the racket right like that. Now you're set up to hit a topspin backhand. If I'm going to hit slice, we're in that continental grip, which the continental grip, by the way, could do so many different things. You can hit a slice backhand, you can hit a serve, and you can hit your volleys, all with the continental grip. So I'm holding the racket like this right here, and you see when I take that racket back, now I'm in that slice position. So again, this is more going to be right down the middle of your racket. That's where you'd put that knob if you do want to get something like this. And if you are going to be hitting topspin, it's more towards the top of the bevel right there, right on top of the racket. So that's enabling me to hit slice. This enabling me to hit topspin. That's key difference number 1. Let's get to number 2. Okay, so now that we got our grip on the one-handed backhand, we know the difference between topspin and slice. Let's talk about how you're going to prepare. This is another huge difference in the look that you're going to have between a topspin and a slice backhand. So this is also going to help you read it as well as hitting this ball, so you'll know what's coming. So a slice backhand, I like to think of taking the string bed, this is called the string bed, and actually going to bed on it. I like to rest my head on this for my students just to show this is the position we're going to get up to, and the butt of your racket, this is called the racket butt, is going to be jutting out towards the fence. So you're in this position as you're getting ready to hit a slice, and notice that the racket head is very, very high above your head here and coming down and through. You can also come to your shoulders too. This is more of a Roy Emerson style slice backhand. So either right above your shoulders or at your shoulders with the strings. The string bed actually open towards the sky is how you want to get ready to hit that slice backhand. Okay, let's talk about the topspin preparation. So the topspin preparation is very, very different. Now instead of having those strings open, we're going to move our grip, and when we take our racket back, we're going to see that the strings are pretty even, if you will. The racket tip is all, you want to have your wrist facing up. I call this the magic button in your wrist, so don't let your wrist flop down like this. Come right in here, touch the magic button, and make sure it flips up. This is how you want to get set right here. So look at the difference. This is slice, you're in this position. This is topspin. So a little bit lower, but still, since you got your wrist cocked up, it's still going to come up fairly high, right above your shoulders as you're getting set. And you also want to make sure that you're in a semi-open stance, getting ready for the ball, and then you're going to be turning your shoulders, getting ready to hit. So the preparation is coming from here, and then coming down as you're getting ready to hit. Let's get into key difference number 3 between a slice backhand and a topspin one-hand. All right, guys, so now what we've got your grip, right? We've got your preparation. Now it's time to talk about swing path. What is swing path? Swing path is how you're coming to the ball and through the ball. That is your swing path, and the slice and the topspin are very different when you're going to hit this shot. So it's going to make a big difference in your result, your ability to put topspin on the ball that comes up and rolls down over the net, versus a shot that stays low and skids. So let's focus on the topspin one first. So it's your traditional coach telling you to swing low to high. That's kind of what we want to be doing on this, low to high. But we're going to change it just a little bit. I want you to think about coming high to low and then high. And why is that? Because first of all, remember, we've got to have our wrist cocked up here. Now what this is going to do is add a little more power, a little more rhythm and control and spin. Lots of different things going on there. If we just come like this, we can tend to be weak and kind of floppy with our shot. So again, what I want you to think about is coming high to low, back up to high. That's how you're getting that roll on the ball. High to low, back up to high. That was a really nice backhand. Here we go. High to low, back up to high. I need to get a little lower on that because that one tipped the top of the net and went over. So next I'm going to focus on coming high and a little lower, and then we're getting that ball over the net. Now, let's focus on the slice shot. So the slice shot is much different. Now what I want you to think about is coming high and down and through. High, down and through, or you can think high to low and through. Either one, whatever makes sense to you. We got our grip, and that's what this slice is going to look like. This allows us to drive the ball lower over the net, and it skids when it hits the. Let's take a look at some of those from the back. All right, number 4 is the angle on your contact point. I think a lot of people get this wrong on both. So when we're coming to hit the top spin, when you're going to come down and then up to the ball, you actually want to be hitting pretty level. So if you're coming low, your strings don't open up, but if you come like this from low to high and your strings are like this and then you go to follow through, you're going to hit a nice top spin ball. So this, I love to use the net cord or the net tape as a good practice tool. So you can just come out here and put that you want to have your shot land hit right there. And notice how we're also out in front. When we're hitting the slice backhand, this is actually a little too far out in front. We'd actually want to hit the ball a little later, more around right there. See, if I'm hitting topspin, I want to be a little further out in front, right around there, and this is how my strings look. If I'm hitting slice, I want to be more right around here as an ideal contact point. And notice how the strings are slightly facing up. If they face, this is what makes a slice so tough. If they face a little more up, they're going to take off and probably even sail over the fence. If they go down, you're not really going to get the slice on the ball, and they're going to tend to just go right into the net. So you want the contact with the edge slightly facing up. This is the contact, the exact point you want to hit at. So you can practice this and just measure it against mine over and over again. Take this video out to the court and look at that and practice this. And then when you go and you hit, then you want to come through your shot. So we'll come back with key difference number 5 between your topspin and your slice backhand. All right, guys, so key difference number 5, we're going to really focus on the follow through here. Super important, and again, very different follow throughs. When you're going to be hitting topspin, I want you to think of yourself like the Statue of Liberty. I want you to raise the arm way up high, right there, and this is your torch, and you actually want the strings facing down on the other side. You can even have a little bit of a rollover if you want. So you can either come to right here, this is perfectly fine, you'll hit some nice shots. You want to get a little more spin, relax a little more and roll over. Either one I think is okay. You'll see the pros do both. So you just come up there, raise it up nice and proud, and you see that right there. Now again, I think it is important to have your strings facing down towards the ground a little bit. If you finish and your racket strings are facing up to the sky, so if you come low to high and you finish like this, there's a good chance at some point you've opened up, and it's going to increase your chances that the ball is going to fly on you. So watch if I do it like that. If I come here and then just open up, that ball almost went over the fence. So we don't want to do that. Now in the slice, it's actually different. And I want you to think about having a tabletop finish with the slice. So we want to come here, down and through, and then pretend you could put something right here on your strings, the tabletop finish, okay? So this is the best way, I think, to really get the most control. You'll see Federer and other people get a little more fancy with that finish, but I want you to be holding it like that, tabletop finish, or I also like to think of it as a half smiley face, where you're coming up, down, through, and then up a little bit. See that half smiley face happening? You really want to, as you're coming to hit the ball, you want to stay here as long as possible and then get to that tabletop finish. So watch this again. Get one more really good slice. That's a good one right there. And you can see that tabletop finish. So let's get to key difference number 6. So key difference number 6 between a slice and a topspin one-hander is the height that you're going to be aiming over the net. When you're hitting a topspin in general, you're going to be hitting the ball over the net higher. Now, as you're going to take more offense, you're going to aim lower, but you can hit a lot of balls, especially your rally balls. Look, we're behind here, we're in the blue, so we're in a little bit of a defensive position. I definitely want to be hitting the ball higher out of here so the ball can roll up over the net and then bounce up at my opponent. So our goals are really different too, which we're going to get more into the key difference number 7. Now on the slice, if I hit that ball high over the net with a slice, unless I got some touch on it, I'm hitting a lob, but if I'm just hitting a regular stroke, I'm going to typically, if I aim high, that's going to keep going high. A slice keeps rising. So when you hit a slice ball, it's actually rising, and our challenge is to keep the ball going down so it doesn't just keep flying on us. Topspin, it's actually different. Even though we're hitting the ball low to high and the ball is going up, the spin on it is actually making that thing rotate down. The topspin wants to go down. That's why we need to get under and hitting it higher, where slice is rising as we hit it. So we want to go more down on it. So that's why we do the different swing paths, because my challenge here is to keep that ball down and low and through the court like that. If I don't do that, that ball is going to be flying on me. So in general, I like to aim either at the net strap or a couple inches over the net strap when I'm hitting a slice. When I'm hitting topspin, I like to aim anywhere from 2 all the way to 8 to 10 feet over the net, which I could not do on slice. And so that's going to bring us up to key difference number 7, which is basically going to be your strategies, when to use slice and when to use topspin. So we'll be back with number 7. Okay, last but not least, key difference number 7 is when and how you want to use a slice versus topspin backhand. So here's when you want to be using your topspin one-hander if you can. I think first of all, the ball has got to be in your ideal contact space, which is your knees to your chest. So if the ball is coming from the knees to the chest and I have a good amount of time to set up on that ball, that's when I'm going to look to rip more of a topspin backhand. Now if the ball is coming lower, around below my knees to the ground, that's when it's a great time to get down and hit that slice shot. In fact, you'll see lots of people with a two-hand backhand even get down for those low ones and chip the ball. Also, if the ball is very, very high, it gets really tough. Not to say that you can't hit a one-hander way up here, because you can. You can hit a one-hander above your chest, but it is more challenging, and I find that the higher balls, it's easier to come here, leverage your shoulders on the ball, and chip down on it. So those are the times when I'm going to be hitting a slice ball versus a topspin ball. Also, if the ball is tending to come really, really fast at me, that's when I'm going to go more to a chip or block move. And if I have more time, that's when I'm going to hit topspin. As I'm on defense, again, I might go to slice. If the ball's coming really fast, I'm looking maybe to take some pace off the ball and just kind of restart the rally. That's another great time to use slice. When are great times to hit topspin? If I get way back off the baseline, I do not want to be hitting a chip ball because then it's just going to float and I'm going to get attacked. So as I get off the baseline, I got to know if I'm going to move back off the baseline with a one-hander, I've got to hit a high roller ball. Also, as people are attacking me at the net, if they're coming in on me, it's also a time where if I'm going to chip the ball, the chip shots, the chip passing shots you can kind of get away with, or maybe like a little chip angle to kind of set up a passing shot, so short cross court or a chip lob. But in general, when people are coming to the net on me, that's when it's time where I got to get some courage and I've got to go for a topspin passing shot. Also, if I get a mid-court weak ball, again, another great time to hit topspin and go for it. But I also think a nice, beautiful chip slice approach shot often can be even more effective than coming in off a topspin backhand approach shot. So there you go, guys. There's your 7 key differences between a topspin and a slice one-hander. I hope you really enjoyed this, and if you'd like this, I'd like to leave you with some bonus training. I've created a course called Backhand Mastery, which is a 12 step-by-step course that I did with one of my students, Michael Strutton. I was super proud of how he went from almost scratch, and then by the end of 12 weeks, he made tremendous improvement, and we made a 3 free-part series. 3, did I say that right? 3 free-part series that you can check out on Backhand Mastery. So watch this commercial if you like it, try it out. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions on any of these 7 key differences, because I know it can be confusing, the difference between a topspin and a slice backhand, don't hesitate to ask. I'll read all the comments and I will be sure to answer your question. This is Pete from Crunchtime Coaching signing off. And do me a favor, give this video a like. And if you want to see more videos just like this, subscribe.